Hello, everybody.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Titletown Podcast.
How the heck are ya?
I'm great, Craig. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. To all the people out there, we've got a great episode this week. A lot of shit going on. We've got freaking playoff baseball, some good football stuff. Hockey's getting started. Basketball's getting started soon. It's a fucking touch 'em all type of situation we got this week.
Most magical time of the year. All four major sports are playing at the same time.
Getting into it.
Incredible.
Getting involved.
Talk about them all.
If you're new to the program, you may not know this, but you can call us up. The phone number for that, 904-87-TT-POD. 904-87-TT-POD. You can call us anytime. It goes to a voicemail. You don't have to worry about us picking up the phone and having an awkward conversation. Leave us your take. If it's any good, or frankly, if it totally sucks, we'll put you on the pod anyways. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And you can also interact with us on the internet.
Yeah. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever strikes your fancy.
All those things.
We're at Titletown Pod on all of those.
Hit it at Titletown Pod, anywhere that social media is found. Nice. And that being said,
enjoy the show.
Enjoy the episode.
Hey, Craig, how are you?
Hey, Melissa, what's up? I'm good. How you doing?
Not too much. Look, big week ahead of us here.
Dude, huge.
So much going on.
Trying to find a good night to record this week, and there's like shit going on all the time.
There's none. Plus, we have jobs and lives.
Plus the jobs and lives things.
Real jam up.
Right, as we speak, we got 2 games of consequence happening.
Yeah.
Last night we had a couple.
Yeah.
Monday there was football. Tuesday, I don't remember, but like, holy shit.
Stuff's going on.
And then the Patriots play on Thursday.
I know. It's a short week for us too, people.
Fuck.
All right.
Anyways.
Why don't you kick us off and tell us what did happen last week?
I will. I'm going to start
Remind the people since it's been so many days.
I will. Thank you. Patriots.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. So they looked like themselves again, and they fucking blew the doors off the then AFC East leading. Are they still the AFC East leading?
They've got to be. They're 3-1.
Right.
So we're only 2-2.
Right. Okay. So
and then it's the Jets and the Bills.
Right.
Simple math here tells me I'm probably right.
So they blew the doors off the AFC East leading Dolphins by a score of 38-7. Newly acquired wide receiver Josh Gordon made his first couple of catches from Tom Brady, and he looked good doing it. This week, also on a bummer note, featured some injury news. Rob Gronkowski left the game with an ankle injury and is listed as questionable for Thursday.
He had not practiced this week as of today. I don't know if he managed to practice today. If he didn't practice today, he won't be able to play on Thursday. Yeah. I guess I should have fact checked that, but who has that kind of time?
We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
That could just be a function of the short week. I don't know.
Exactly.
Running back Rex Burkhead was put on IR, but good news, safety Patrick Chung and defensive end Trey Flowers both came back for this game from concussion protocol, and they had a noticeable impact on the defense. The Pats, just like the Titletown Sports Podcast, have a short week as they turn around and play the Indianapolis Colts in Foxborough on Thursday night. They also get Julian Edelman back from his 4-game suspension this week. Did you know, Melissa?
Yeah.
That the last time that Julian Edelman played a meaningful game for the Patriots was Super Bowl 51 against the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, shit.
Isn't that wild?
That felt like a long time ago.
Seriously.
That one ended well. Maybe this one will too.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Over to you, Melissa.
What comes next? I'm so confused. All right. Moving on to the Red Sox. Also having a big couple of weeks. They finally wrapped up the regular season this week.
That's it. It's over.
Thank God. That was a long 162. They wrapped it up with a series against the Yankees, and they just barely avoided the sweep after losing the first 2 games, and then they won their final game of the season, which means they ended the season with a record of 108-54.
Bam.
It's hard to dog on the way their season ended when you look at that, but
seriously,
it kind of hurt that last stretch there. That 108-54 record is a new franchise record. Very exciting. Sure, in 20 years, we will all definitely remember that. They now head into the playoffs and will face either the Yankees or the A's based on the wild card game, which will be settled by the time this podcast airs. So you will know.
Quick time check. It is 7:51
on Wednesday evening.
Wednesday evening.
We're waiting for the first pitch on that game.
About to get going.
Alex Cora has announced that Chris Sale will be the opening game starter, and David Price and Rick Porcello will be starting games 2 and 3.
On to the Celtics.
Yes.
They have officially kicked off their preseason. They split a home and home against the Charlotte Hornets, and they lost at the Garden to the Cavs on, what was that, Saturday night?
Sure.
Or something?
That checks out.
They've got one more preseason game against Cleveland. Oh, no, this coming Saturday night. And then they've got a week off before the start of the regular season, in which they begin at home against the Philadelphia 76ers, Tuesday, October 16th. Kyrie Irving has, throughout the last couple of weeks and as recently as a couple nights ago, made some statements sounding like he's more interested and confident in his staying in Boston after he's a free agent at the end of this year. He mentioned the importance of comfort and enjoying where he plays, and my opinion would be that he's just fucking fired up to be on this awesome team, which should have been this awesome last year, but was not, thanks to Gordon Hayward destroying his ankle. But it seems like he and fucking everybody else in the world is just fired up to be this group.
So jazzed.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, weird that they only play 4 games in the preseason, though.
Yeah, and then they get a week off.
I was like, this is bizarre. Anyway, also starting their season tonight are the Boston Bruins.
As we speak.
Puck drop. Tip off. I went back to bed as well.
Tipping the puck.
Puck drop should actually be happening right now in Washington, D.C. Like a bunch of jamokes. They just have to watch the Capitals raise their fucking banner. It's
bunch
so
of losers.
annoying. Some injury news from this week from this team as well. Torrey Krug is out for 3 weeks with an ankle sprain. It's the same ankle that he broke in last year's playoffs, but the injury is reportedly unrelated to that break.
I'm sure he feels. I'm sure that's exactly how he feels.
Yeah, I'm sure that's checking out with him.
He's like, no, this is totally a separate thing. Totally separate thing.
And Patrice Bergeron is expected to make the start in the season opener after his groin surgery this offseason. They play again Thursday night, so they got 2 games right out of the chute there.
Yeah, back to back.
Yeah,
fuck.
I know. To start the season, they're heading up to Buffalo. One good thing, though, is that we will get to see new backup goalie. Not even going to try that.
I put it in there on purpose to see how you deal with it.
I actually know it's Jaroslav Halak.
No, it's Yaroslav.
Yaroslav Halak. Oh, like Yager. Got it.
Yeah,
you just do this to fuck with me.
That one I did.
I just had Halak written there, and he added Yaroslav Halak to make his Bruins debut. Anyway, they'll eventually have their home opener on Monday, October 6th.
And I forget who they're playing, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yaroslav.
Jaroslav. I like to say it my own way. Very westernized.
Very American.
Yeah.
Almost too much. So, hey, you want to know a fun fact?
Yeah, of course I do.
So I was thinking.
Oh, boy. That took all day.
This is a great time of the year.
It sure is.
To be in New England.
It sure is.
It's a great time of the year to be alive.
Oh, wow.
We've got football getting started, baseball in the playoffs, basketball and hockey soon to be started.
Yeah.
And depending on how long the Red Sox can survive in the playoffs, you have this nice period of all 4 teams in action, which really doesn't happen all that often.
Correct.
And no, that's not true. It doesn't happen ever.
This is the only time.
Except for this time of year.
Right. Unless you count, I guess, no, even the Super Bowl would be before pitchers and catchers report.
Oh, hell yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, football, the coverage of football sort of never ends. So like, it feels like at least around here, the Patriots shit is like ever present.
This is the only time all 4 teams are active.
Are actually acting. I looked it up last year. The Bruins started on the 5th. Okay. And the Sox were eliminated on the 9th of October, I think.
They got 4 days.
There was one, and the Bruins played on the 9th also. So there was only 4 days where both teams were playing, and really it amounted to 1 regular season game for the Bruins until the fucking Red Sox were out of the playoffs.
Nesson only had 1 game to figure out what they were doing with.
Yeah, right. Nesson Plus only got 1 game worth of fucking airtime last year. Sad. Anyway, so I thought that it would be fun if we touched on all 4, or attempted rather to touch on all 4, or at the very least, depending on how time goes, the 3 teams that are active.
All right.
In what is a good time to be a sports fan in New England.
Okay, challenge accepted.
All right.
I have opinions on all 4. No problem.
So I've got some shit. You want to start us off?
Some points to keep us on pace. So we mentioned the Patriots looked like themselves on Sunday when they smashed the Dolphins. Enjoying the demolition of a subpar divisional opponent is a familiar feeling for the Patriots, but does it erase your concerns from the first week?
I'll tell you what.
What?
It doesn't erase my concerns. This week, it felt to me like I could relax. Like for the first time, I was able to kind of half pay attention for the second half of, of a Patriots
Agreed.
game.
I was actually at work for the second half, and I was like, "That's fine.
Yeah,
I got it. I know what's happening
it's,
here."
You know, it's just like your classic like early season divisional blowout home game on like a sunny October afternoon.
Yeah.
Just ideal. Get to like hang out and grill and drink beer and fucking not worry about it.
Yeah.
So that was good. And I would have thought that the Detroit game would have been the bounce back. I think you and I both, along with many others, were expecting that game to be the bounce back. Turns out we were just a week early. I don't think that any of the problems are necessarily solved. This game to me just raised the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how bad are they? Like that question was answered, and it was like, okay, well they're not lose to the Dolphins at home bad.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a whole different level
and
of
they're
bad.
not tight game against the Dolphins at home bad. They're beat the shit out of the Dolphins. Like that's so it raised the floor to me. The
Right.
ceiling, I don't know. And where they will ultimately fall, who the fuck knows? But at least we're not getting our fucking asses kicked by Miami. You know what I mean?
I think the thing that stood out to me the most this week is that going into the season, when we knew Julian Edelman had to serve this suspension and we saw what the schedule was, and we know how the Patriots tend to start, and we were like, if they go 2-2 in the first 4 games, that's what we'd expect. And then when it happened, we all
Easier said than
freaked the
done,
fuck
yeah.
out, and we're like, what? How can they be like, well, in order for them to go 2-2, they had to lose
They got to lose 2 games.
of these games, which is exactly what they did. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I was also one of the people like, what's happening? It's
Right,
the end of the world. Everything's going to hell. And then when I was like, well, I guess we all predicted that was going to happen. And then we're mad that our own prediction came true.
So, but do you feel better? Do you feel worse? Are you like not taking the bait? Are you?
I'm not taking the bait. I feel cautiously optimistic that
good word.
I said last week that, it's hard to be the one that's like, oh, this is it. This is the demise when that hasn't happened before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like at some point their track record has to lend them some credibility to it. And so, okay, they came out and they smoked a team that they should smoke. They're going to play the Colts tomorrow night. The Colts are looking brutal. Like, they have a ton of people that are injured right now. I think they have like 11 guys that aren't playing tomorrow. So it's like, okay, I don't know that that's going to be a super big challenge.
Yeah, they're 1-3, by the way.
Yeah, so they suck. The game the following week, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, though, against Kansas City could be a real grind.
Yeah, that's I mean that was one of the handful of games on the schedule that was like, I mean it's a prime timer first of all, so like
of course it is. So we
it was one of the games.
Goddamn night.
It was one of the games that you sort of circled on the schedule, saying like that's going to be a tough fight. It feels to me like it's going to be more than a tough fight at this point. This fucking Patrick Mahomes kid is a fucking animal. The thing with the Colts is too, is like, I'm not totally counting them out, although they have not been playing well and they're generally not a good team. But I mean, Andrew Luck, there was a time where we regarded Andrew Luck as a formidable quarterback. He's been hurt for what feels like fucking 5 years.
Forever.
But the Patriots have a habit of turning players like Blake Bortles and Matt Stafford. And for that one game, for those 60 minutes, they look like fucking Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know. We may have a game, but hopefully they can make short work of the Colts.
Well, and I think the Thursday night thing does weird things to both teams.
For sure.
And if you had to ask me, like, what duo is better prepared for the short week, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick or Andrew Luck? Oh my God, I'm all over the place. And whoever the fuck their coach is.
Frank, right? I think.
Sure, whatever you say.
He was the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, okay. So that's how you know him. Closet Eagles fan.
I'm not that. Take it back.
So, I'm going to put my money on Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
Yeah, same. So here's another thing about next week's game.
Yes.
Edelman. We talked about this a minute ago.
We did.
Number 11, wide receiver, Julian Edelman with the red gloves. Returns to
you know
this
him.
team.
You love him. You've seen him before.
He had that weird JE11 clothing line for like what felt like 5 minutes.
Bizarre.
So he's coming back this week for the Thursday night game against the Colts. He, just as a reminder, missed the entire 2017 season with a torn ACL and has missed the first 4 games of this year with a suspension for violating the National Football League's performance-enhancing drug policy. Can't be on those, bud.
Or at least you got to get a better masking agent.
That was the problem. Too much. You overdid it on the masking agent.
It's all about the right blend.
Yeah, it's not the cover-up.
Someone didn't do well.
Wait, no, it's not the crime. It's the cover-up. Anyways, do you, Melissa, think Julian Edelman will bring the Pats offense immediately sort of back to form, or will it take him a little bit of time to get back on his former self? I think we're all confident he'll make them better.
Yes. Yes.
So how quickly do you think that will happen?
He will personally need time to get back to full form, like 100%.
You think so?
I'm getting there. He's had a lot of time off. And I think one of the advantages, like usually you see a guy tear his ACL in the middle of the season. It was preseason for him. So he's had literally the most amount of time to heal from that. But I think the benefit of him coming back is going to be the same impact that we saw from Josh Gordon this week. Like it started to happen against Miami. All of a sudden you have actual pass catchers on the field.
Players with talent.
Right. People that can actually catch the ball that have to be legitimately defended. And it does a couple of things. It frees up other receivers to actually make a play, and it pulls people away from the line because you actually have to send people out into your backfield or downfield so that your running backs have better holes to run through.
Yeah, there's no downside to having it out there.
Right. So I think that is where his impact will be. I think his ability to like run and catch at 100% will probably take him a couple weeks to get there and get his timing back. And like the offense has changed in 2 seasons, so he's going to need to figure that out a little bit.
He was there for the whole preseason, though.
He was, but I'm sure over the last 4 weeks they've made some adjustments.
Yeah, sure.
I friggin' hope they've made some adjustments.
Adjusting for the shittiness of their receivers.
Right.
See, I think he's going to drop right in there. I think he'll be
You
fine.
do?
It took me a while to come around to that. My first inclination was like, it'll take him a little bit of time, but then I sort of, the way the NFL does the suspension, I mean, we found out he was getting suspended in, I think, beginning of August or middle of August or something like that. But
Sure.
it doesn't go into effect until the regular season. So we got to do the whole preseason. He was also the only receiver that Brady was working with. Like when Brady was missing those passing camps and stuff like that, he was basically just chilling with fucking Jules in Brookline. So I don't see any reason why Julian Edelman wouldn't be like right back where he started, which doesn't necessarily mean he's going to have like a huge game.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be on the same page, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Sure. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think your offensive scheme, I hope, is more than just Tom Brady to Julian Edelman. And so that means like he's occasionally going to have to maybe make a block or a tackle or be in the right place to draw a defender.
Speaking of blocks and tackles, that was actually one of the most encouraging thing I saw with Josh Gordon this past week.
Yeah.
Who, I think he had like 3 catches, 4 targets, or maybe 2 for 3. So
it was fine.
Very like ease your way into it.
Exactly what we would expect. Nothing over the top. No trick plays.
Nice. Right. Yeah. No weirdness. Just like easing them in. I heard Greg Bedard, who I'm a big time Bedard guy, talk about this on the radio this past week. He was like, I've never seen so much positivity, like deliberate positivity of like, nice job, man, way to go, like saying nice things, doing nice things, that on any like professional football team sideline than he's seen with Josh Gordon, which he was saying like it was a bad thing, like, oh, what an annoying thing we have to do, treat this guy with like kids gloves. Seems perfectly appropriate to me.
Yeah, seems good to me.
And the fact that Josh Gordon, there was like, he had a nice block on one of the James White touchdowns. The couple of catches that he had, he's like running across the middle. They aren't these like home run shots, like down the sideline, like go routes or whatever. Like it seems like he's actually like doing the hard stuff and like working,
Yeah.
Weird thing to give him credit for. He's a fucking football player. You would expect that, but like, I don't know. I'm happy to see that he's like contributing on the field in ways other than being like this home run hitting wide receiver who just, has a couple of huge catches in a game and doesn't do anything else.
Well, I think the celebrating and like appreciating him is probably a good thing for him.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I don't know why we're not allowed to just be nice to people.
Well, it's a negative culture we have around here. And I love it. Anyways, do you want to talk some baseball?
I do.
Real quick.
I love playoff baseball.
You do?
I do.
Me too.
Okay, great.
I'm actually, like how we were saying before we started recording, I rewatched the 30 for 30 4 days in October last night. All fired up.
Just got all jacked up.
Fucking fired up. Your turn. Go ahead.
So playoff baseball. By the time this podcast is actually posted, the American League wildcard game between the Yankees and A's will be decided. Hopefully, I'm going to say, because based on how that National League game went last night, shit, this thing could go late into the morning. Anyway, that game will determine the Red Sox opponent for the divisional round. How far do the Red Sox have to go in the playoffs to achieve expectations? And as a quick reminder, the last 2 years, the Red Sox have been bounced in the first round. They haven't actually made it past the ALDS since 2013, where they obviously went on to win the World Series.
So how far do they have to go to achieve expectations? In my mind, like you won 108 games, franchise record.
Yeah.
You've got 2 viable MVPs in your lineup.
Yep.
You don't have a Cy Young caliber pitcher just based on games played in Chris Sale, but in terms of ERA and stuff and wins and all the measures of Cy Young, you have a contender there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can be satisfied with this team unless they go deep ALCS, like 7 games ALCS. And I'm like talking myself out of saying it's make the World Series or bust. I'm like compromising with myself.
Because you think Houston could beat them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think the Indians could beat them too, but
Yeah.
it's just like if they do anything other than lose, anything short of losing in 7 games in the CS, in the ALCS, I'm like pissed off.
Yeah, I can see your argument. I also say 108 fucking wins, like, and you don't make it to the World Series. What was the point? No one's gonna remember that
Right.
you won 108. You'll be some asterisk in a record book somewhere of like
It'll be true.
franchise record. No one cares. I think there's. I think they got to go to the World
So
Series.
your World Series or bust? Not win it. I mean, I don't
Not
think you
win
can
it.
have. I don't think
Yeah.
it's fair expectations that you have to win the World Series or
Right.
your season is a
I think you
failure.
have to make it. You have to prove that your record was because you were the best team in the American League.
Yeah,
and
that's legit.
I don't know that they were.
Well, I mean,
They play in a shit division.
but everybody plays in a shit division.
Well, some are less shit than others.
Well, I mean, you could make the argument that they play in the least shit division because they've got the fucking Yankees there.
Okay. Well,
The wild card winner. I don't know how it's gonna.
let's just record it both ways. Houston has the A's.
The wild card winning Oakland Athletics.
It's like that Simpsons episode where they talk about the Super Bowl winner and they have Homer Simpson hold a beer in front of his mouth so they can just dub over that year's Super Bowl winner every year.
Smart move.
Am I the only one that knows that?
Groaning.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm basically right there. We're a game
Yeah,
apart in
right.
terms of our
Right,
achieved
where we want them to be.
expectations.
I'm not saying I think they will do that, by the way, because I agree with you. I think that the Indians or the Astros will give them a tough time.
Oh, predictions. Who the fuck knows?
I know.
They could lose in the first. I mean, I don't know if I would
If
be
they lose in the
shocked
first
if they lost in
round,
the first round. I would be disappointed, but I don't know if I would be that surprised.
That would be,
Well, that's a disaster.
oh, God.
That's a disaster. 3 straight division championships and 3 straight first round exits. That would be a fucking disaster.
Who's responsible for that?
So good question. I think Dave Dombrowski,
I do
first
too.
and foremost.
The man cannot fucking get a bullpen together.
Assuming with that, so that's with the caveat. Assuming that if they lose, that it is in a fashion that is consistent with the way they've lost games all season.
Yeah,
which is
sure.
a long way of saying
Right.
if the bullpen blows it, then it's on Dombrowski.
Yeah.
If by some miracle the bullpen can pitch well and Chris Sale gets shelled or David Price gets shelled or the bats are just dead. Like I don't know. There's a million different ways that
JD
it could
Martinez and
happen.
Mookie Betts run into each other and knock each other out.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Like I don't know. There's a million ways that it can go down. But
Yeah.
if the flaws that are so clear in the regular season of this team become the flaws in the postseason and ultimately the reason that they don't go far, then it's like Dombrowski. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Everyone in the America knew that we needed bullpen help, and what the
in
fuck?
May.
Yeah, oh
Like we didn't just figure this out in September.
Right.
We've all known you had time to do something about it.
Yeah, I think he'd be number one. I mean, I feel like Alex Cora has basically managed his way into a free pass for this year, regardless of how this postseason works out.
Agreed.
Like he's in that like Bruce Cassidy type territory of like you did such a good job in the regular season that even if the team falls on their face in the postseason, you're fine. You know
Right,
what I
you
mean?
can't be held accountable for that.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yet.
Give it 4 years in a row, ALDS exit, and you're on the hook too.
So speaking of Cassidy,
Yeah.
boom,
Great segue.
pro segue, suck it. Also by the time this podcast is posted, the Boston Bruins will have started their regular season.
Oh, I'm so jacked for that too.
As a reminder, last year, the Bruins had the second best record in the Eastern Conference. They were an offensive force and a fucking comeback machine.
Oh my God. Just all season. You
Yeah,
never
oh, yeah.
could count them out. I'm getting so excited just thinking about it. When's
they-
our first fight going to happen? I can't wait.
Great. Ours or
Not
theirs?
ours. Maybe. Throw down.
They also wound up bowing out in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs versus Tampa Bay.
Yep.
So, similar question. What are your expectations for this year's team, regular season wise? Let's not talk about the spring just yet.
Yeah, we don't know.
But general expectations for the Bruins this year.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a good team. I actually think they're getting stronger and getting more depth. And like Bruce Cassidy isn't afraid to play kids. So like he's bringing people up that like Torrey Krug's out, but there's someone to come in and like have an impact and, play the game, for lack of a better word. So I'm excited for what they're going to be. I think they're going to be great. I think they're going to be fun to watch again. We talked earlier about Halak as the new backup goalie. And he's actually pretty legit. Like, he could play a good number of games, which is great because it means you give Rask a little more time off.
Yeah, that's
he
the idea.
needs that.
He's got to do that.
Yeah.
He's got to play 30 games at least.
Oh, at least. And he's got, great, like,
he's got
real
legit credentials.
NHL experience.
I don't know if he'll actually end up playing better than Anton Khudobin did last year because Anton Khudobin
but
played
he'll
very
play
well last year,
more.
but he should play it. He is, like, on paper, a better goalie. We just turned on the wildcard game. We both got distracted. I can sort of see it in this mirror.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, yeah.
In fact, I'm going to move so I can see it better in the mirror. My thing with the Bruins is yes, I agree that I think they're going to be a good team. I think they're going to be top 4 Eastern Conference team, obvious playoff team. Like they have to do that stuff. I hope they actually become a less fun team to watch.
What? Why?
Because I think that last year we saw that if you're going to win in these like heart attack, comeback, flurry of goals in the third period type of way, it's very fun, but it's not a sustainable model. It doesn't win in the playoffs.
Sure.
It just doesn't win in the playoffs.
Sure.
So I'm hoping that this year, and last year they were, I think, better than they or anybody else really thought they would be. So good for you. Good for them. You're a year ahead of schedule, so to speak, in terms of all these young players and Charlie McAvoy and fucking Jake DeBrusk and all these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So they should continue to be good. I just hope they are good in a way that is more reliable and more sort of just, strong, solid team that just wins game in the conventional
normal
way.
fashion. You're so boring.
Yeah, just,
I think that Vegas has them slated to get 10 less points this year than they did last year. Something like that. But ranked the same. So I think they see points across the NHL coming down a little bit, which I think speaks to like there being more parity in the league.
I think that also speaks to Toronto getting better and Tampa getting better and the Bruins
they're right
basically
up there.
staying the same.
Yeah. It's like the Bruins, Tampa Bay, Toronto, and the Predators are like all near the top with the same similar number of points.
Yeah, I don't think it's a crazy bet to say the Bruins will win less games this year than they did last year.
Yeah.
I mean, they won a shitload last year.
I agree. Should we go to the 4th team?
Who's got the next one?
I do.
Oh, yeah. Let's rip it.
Oh, let's do it. Okay. Last but not least, let's talk about the Celtics.
Let's.
They're going to start their 2018 regular season next week. 2018-2019 regular season next week.
My bad, Jaroslav.
Anyway.
What was the one last week? What's that fucking guy's name? Fuck.
I don't know. Java.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's his real name?
Javal.
Javal?
Isn't it? The L just came off his name.
JaVale. JaVale McGee or JaVale something?
Whatever.
Yeah, Java.
I still don't
that
know.
one wasn't your fault, though. But anyway, yeah, Java.
We got to learn to start typing phonetically. Anyway, where was I? Okay, let's get back to last year with the Celtics, can we?
Let's.
They finished with the second most wins in the East at 55. And even with no Kyrie or Gordon Hayward, they took their playoff run all the way to the 4th quarter of Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals, where LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers officially crushed their NBA dreams. This year, everyone's back and healthy, and the Celtics are poised to be the best team in the East. What are your expectations for this team this year?
So again, I'll stay regular season.
Yeah.
Because we'll talk about the spring in the spring. But
well, no one will remember what we said by then. You might as well just throw it out there now.
Oh, well, okay. Then in that case, then it's NBA Finals or bust.
100% agree.
And as far as the regular season goes,
LeBron's gone from the East. There's nothing standing in your way. You should steamroll.
You should. Toronto is maybe a factor.
Sure.
We'll
fine.
see. That's a franchise with institutional suckage.
Right.
But I mean, I think they should be, based on the shittiness of the East,
right,
that they should win 60 games. Like,
yeah.
They won 55 last year. Houston, I was looking this up. So Houston won 65. They led the league in wins.
Okay. Interesting.
Golden State
Not
had 58. And
Houston's like a sneaky good team.
well, the thing is, I find that teams in their first year of being awesome tend to be really awesome. And then once they become more comfortable with the idea that they're awesome, they tend to win less.
Yeah, because they don't
you just
need to
give
try.
less of a shit.
Yeah, you don't
and
need
that's true
100%.
in lots of different sports. Like,
and the world.
The first year that Golden State was really fucking sick, they won 70.
Yeah,
like they fucking destroyed everybody. But yeah, I think the Celtics should be winning somewhere in the ballpark of 60 games, certainly high 50s. either that or something's gone terribly wrong. One thing that I think is going to be like important to watch this year is how does like Brad Stevens deal with not so much minutes, but like who gets the ball? You know what I mean? Like you're going to have a lot of dudes on that team who presumably want to play and want to take the ball and want to shoot and want to, want to be that guy. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown got to be that guy a ton last year in the playoffs because Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward weren't there. So now you've introduced these two players, and I don't know. I just wonder, like, this will be a test for Brad Stevens, who has not really had to coach a like all-star NBA roster before.
I think what's awesome is that like he's going to have the flexibility to rotate people in and out. So you're going to be able to manage Gordon and Kyrie and even Al Horford's minutes.
But that's the question.
Regular
Do
season.
They want to be managed, or is that going to be something that annoys them?
I think they all have longevity enough to understand the importance of being really healthy and strong going into the postseason. And so if you can position it in that way, and like it's not going to change Kyrie Irving being a superstar that he plays 35 minutes a game instead of 42 minutes a game.
Right.
And then has, better stamina come the postseason because he hasn't played as many minutes in the season. I think that's a good thing for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds, I'm convinced.
Yeah.
As a
We're
fan
on board.
Who's invested in their long-term success. I agree. I mean, that was something that, I think like Doc Rivers gets a lot of credit, rightly so, for being able to manage like massive egos and personalities between Garnett and Pierce and Rondo and Allen. Like, for a time,
the stuff that's coming out now, I'm like, was he really managing it or just covering it up?
Well, is it
same thing? I guess
they're not so different. So I don't know. I have all the confidence in the world in Brad Stevens' ability to like draw a fucking play up on the whiteboard. But that's only part of coaching in the NBA. Like you got to be able to manage egos and big personalities and, worldwide fucking massive superstars. Mm-hmm. And you're just like this fucking little skinny guy from Indiana trying to tell people what's what.
Hey guys.
And Brad Stevens also has no credentials really like in the league. Yankees just homered, I think.
Yeah, they sure did. 2 runs.
Also, Bruins are down 2-0 halfway through the first period. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Wait, I want to change my prediction. Yeah, of course the Yankees are fucking winning. The goddamn A's threw out a relief pitcher to start this game.
Yeah,
it's the
I'm not
stupidest
into
thing
that
I've
trend.
ever seen in my entire life.
Doing the opener thing?
Yeah.
I think there's some reasonable strategy to it, but it is just weird.
It's not working out right now.
No, sure ain't. Aaron Judge just hit a fucking bomb.
Oh, God.
Anyways. So yeah, that's my Celtics take.
All right.
Got to be sniffing 60 wins, and obviously you got to win the East.
You have to win the East.
Yeah.
You're not going to win the whole thing, I don't think. I mean, maybe, but unless something crazy happens to Golden State, like,
yeah, the expectation is
you got to get there.
Finals.
Yeah. All right, you want to lightning round it?
Shit. I feel like there's been a lightning round this whole time.
I know. We've just been asking questions.
I'm out of breath. Getting a little dehydrated over here.
Get your orange dry. Get your orange dry. Oh, you finished it.
Oh, God, it's gone. Everything's terrible.
The Bruins are down 2-0.
Yeah.
That's a real kick of the teeth. All right, you ready for a lightning round question?
I am.
I'm starting. I'm just going rogue.
Good.
I don't even know where this is going to take me.
That's
Let's
how I
find
drew
out.
it up, I think.
This week in Major League Baseball, there was not one, but 2 additional games to decide the winner of the West and Central divisions in the National League. The Brewers beat the Cubs and the Dodgers beat the Rockies in games 163 of their regular seasons. Do you like this method of settling divisional champs?
I fucking hate this method of settling divisional champs. I think it's absurd.
I'm a strong agree.
They play 162 regular season games,
Right.
18 of which are head-to-head against those opponents, against divisional opponents. You play 18 games. And because your record is tied at the end of the season,
That's
the
it.
only tiebreaker that Major League Baseball can fucking dream up. This is the team. This is the league that has more stats than you could ever fucking know what to do with.
Right.
The only solution to this problem, having the same record at the end of the season, is to play each other in a 163rd game. To play for the privilege to
play in another one game play-in.
The wild card game, which is also a one game. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But I think it's so fucking stupid. Head to head is the obvious tiebreaker.
Right.
Head to head record. If my
it's
team's
not-
beaten your team out of the 18 games, if I've won 11 and you've won 7, that's the tiebreaker.
Yeah, but if they're tied,
But they weren't. Sorry to yell at you. No, the tiebreaker is the 163rd game. There is no like tiebreaker mechanism into the record of the teams. That's the problem.
Oh shit! There's not even one.
No.
I didn't do my research on this.
No.
I assumed they looked at the head-to-head record, and then I thought those were both tied at 9-9.
As a logical and
Because I was going to say, why wouldn't you then?
Well-educated person, I'm not surprised that was what you assumed, because that's what someone would do if your decisions were being guided by logic and reason.
Because I was thinking like, oh, and then from there I would go to like, well, what's your like NL West record?
Right.
Like
divisional record.
What's your
you could do run differential.
Right. You could do so many options.
Anything. You could do anything.
It is stupid to play these extra games because it's basically like you played 162 games and they meant shit. And like that's baseball's problem is so many games and they don't mean enough. And then you add in like told you they don't mean anything.
And the one game playoff is awesome, but like you just don't. In this case, you just don't. It's just stupid. Like you've played 162. These two teams have played 18 games against each other.
Right.
Build in a fucking tiebreaker and let's fucking move on. Come on.
Yeah. This is the first time that ever happened.
With the two playing games?
Yeah.
I believe you.
Because it shouldn't happen. It's fucking weird.
Because it's dumb. Anyways, next.
Yep.
Oh, I'm talking to myself.
Yep.
I got to find this fancy schmancy new app we're using here. All right. Here we go. Speaking of extra games,
yes.
Melissa, the National League wildcard was won on Tuesday by the Colorado Rockies. And as we speak, the New York Yankees and the Oakland Athletics are battling it out for the AL wildcard. Basically, the deal is the two teams with the best record who did not win their respective divisions play a one-game playoff to determine who goes to the divisional round. And this format has been, so there's 3 division winners in each league. The 2 other teams.
Right, teams 4 and 5.
Right, more or less. This format has been in place since 2012, and the wild card as a concept has existed in Major League Baseball since 1995. General question, do you like the one-game play-in wild card thing?
I'm go back and forth on this.
Yeah.
I think my preference would be to make it a 3-game series.
Ooh.
But do it quick. Like it's 3 back-to-back days. None of this like take a day off in between.
Interesting.
Like do it quick. You play 3 games. That's how you play the season. You play it like a series.
Right.
And maybe you give home field advantage to the team that had the better record. Like
Sure.
team 4 gets play at home.
Yeah.
So
okay.
it's like
I'm with
handicapping it for them. But you do 3, so it's not just you have one bad game and you're out. I think it also gives your division winners a little more time off. So it's a bigger benefit to winning the division.
You know what I like about it?
Yeah. What?
I like how it punishes the wild card team,
Yeah.
the winner. Because you have to play this game that's like the all hands on deck.
Right.
It'll
You
fuck
have
up
to
your
throw
bullpen.
your best- yeah.
And I like that it makes it so that the wild card team is, I mean, they're a lesser team, but also they're at a disadvantage going into their thing. So it makes it gives teams a legitimate reason to not want to be the wild card. So it makes it really, because if you're like, for instance, this year, the Red Sox are obviously winning the division and the Yankees were obviously the 4th best team, non-division winner in the American League. So in a normal year, pre-2012, it would have just been this foregone conclusion that your playoff bracket is set from like July basically until now. So, but with the wild card thing, it's like, fuck, like gives the Yankees, not that they had a chance, but something to sort of fight for to get out of this fucking game.
It makes the division matter.
Yeah, more so.
I just look at it and think like, all right, so the idea was to get more teams into the playoffs and make the playoffs more competitive.
Because technically, the team that loses the wild card game is like a playoff team. Yeah.
But like, if you were the Cubs and you lose last night,
you don't feel like
you were a playoff team. You feel like you played 164 stupid games.
But it's fucking must watch. I mean, they're great games.
Oh, they're great. And like, I would rather this than nothing. Like, I'd rather have something than just like, all right, well, the 4th best team that's not a division winner automatically. Because that kind of sucks because like that, there's so many factors that can go into that. And you're right. It does kind of punish that team. They're forced to use a good starting pitcher. They're forced to play hard. They're forced to use their bullpen. Like, you have to treat it like a game 7.
Sometimes starters coming out of the bullpen. Yeah.
And so you get into the ALDS and you're like,
fuck.
Yeah, great. We threw everybody.
Yeah.
But I would like to see it maybe just a little bit more of a series, more like how baseball actually plays. Because I think you get to actually get the better team out of that.
Yeah, Sox have never been in it since 12.
Thank God, because I don't think they'd win. Any year.
Making grand proclamations about the last 6 years of the team.
I don't. They haven't made it out of the ALDS.
These are teams ranging from the franchise record in wins versus did not even make the playoffs. So
yeah, well, they don't. That
how
team
Melissa feels
definitely
on
wouldn't
a
have won.
year-to-year basis about her confidence level.
Listen, I was born and raised. I was old when we won in 2004. I was
true.
raised with the reverse the curse mentality. I still am like, fuck them. They'll never win anything.
Yeah.
People are like, they've won it 3 times in your life. I'm like, meh, not enough.
You host a podcast called Title Touch. Shut up.
Yeah, it's ironic. Anyway.
All right, next.
Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes
Mahomes.
on fire is looking more and more like the real deal each week. He was the 10th overall pick in last year's draft and is making his debut as a starter this year. He is absolutely crushing it.
Crushing it.
This week was highlighted by an on-the-run left-handed throw. He's a righty, FYI, while being pursued by Von Miller of the Broncos. Was this a fluky play or legit playmaking from Mahomes?
A lot of debate on this one play. And if you haven't seen it, I suggest you look it up. Patrick Mahomes' left-handed toss. Basically, snaps the ball. There's like a wicked blitz from his right side. So he's rolling out to his left. He's running towards the TV cameras, if you will.
Okay.
And he's got Tyreek Hill as wide receiver, probably like 10 or 12 yards ahead of him. And he's a right-handed quarterback, and he's being pursued from his right side. So if he fucking cocks that thing back,
Yeah, they're just going to smack it out of his
swat
hand.
it. It's Von Miller. He's like the best fucking pass rusher
Yeah.
in the league. Like you're fucked.
He's not new.
But he sees fucking Tyreek Hill there, and he just swaps the ball to his left hand and like kind of just like shot puts it forward for a completion and a first down. I thought it was fucking awesome. And it shows that like I don't really care about like the athleticism aspect of it. I just care about like the decision making. Like how many times have you seen young quarterbacks do stupid things that like that they know that it was dumb.
Right.
But only in hindsight. They can't make the split decision and make the right decision in the moment. Like they would just be like, fuck. I don't want to get sacked. Oh God, but now I'm strip sacked. You know what I mean? Like
worse.
Even worse, you tried to get out of your bad situation and made your bad situation a worse situation. So I think it was legit as fuck, more from a mental standpoint than a physical one. But yeah, that kid's fucking gonna come in here and blow doors.
The Patriots are gonna get smoked.
Yeah,
if he's
you
real deal.
got 1 week. You got a long week to prepare for him, which is
You
good.
sure do, but you're gonna need all of it.
Yeah,
the
all
way
10 of those
looking.
days to just buy a whole new defense at the defense store.
The fact that he threw the ball left-handed, I like can't even put a straw in my coffee
It
left-handed.
wasn't a good looking throw. I mean, it was like
it
was a little push.
I'd just like smack. I would like spike it if I tried to do anything with my left hand. It's basically just a useless appendage. Anyway,
One of the many reasons you don't play in the NFL.
it's really the thing that's holding me back.
Yeah. So next question.
Yeah.
This is a good throwback from the old days.
Old
Adam
friend.
Vinatieri.
Yeah.
Yes, that Adam Vinatieri, the
still plays.
45-year-old kicker for the Indianapolis Colts, oldest player in the NFL, who of course started his career as a goddamn folk hero here in New England. This week he set the all-time record for most made field goals in the history of the National Football League with 566. Because he's old as fucking dirt, this might be his last season.
Yeah, he might die.
Making Thursday's game his potentially his last game at Gillette Stadium. My question to you, Melissa, is what's your take on Vinatieri, and should the Pats have kept him? And no, answer that first. Those first 2 questions first, and I'm going to ask you the next one.
I mean, I have hindsight now, so it's easy to say that they made the right decision because Steven Gostkowski has been.
Oh God, I could throw up.
What? Really?
No, just keep going.
Oh, they got a cheaper kicker. Who knew how long Vinatieri was going to play? Who knew he'd play till
Why do you say his name like that? Vinatieri.
I don't know. It's my thing. I like to say names wrong.
All right, it's fine.
It's disrespectful, and I like it.
Keep going.
Vinatieri.
Oh, so you're a Gostowski guy.
I'm not. I'm just a don't waste a ton of money on your kickers kind of girl.
Yeah.
And so if you had the next best thing, then why keep them?
But wouldn't it have just been so awesome if this whole run was Brady, Belichick, and Vinatieri? Wouldn't that just
Yeah,
been
that's
fucking
who you want
sick?
in your triad is your goddamn kicker.
I'm just saying, he was fucking
Woo!
nails.
Remember those like
He's
Steve
still
Young,
nails.
Joe Montana, and the kicker?
And the other guy.
Remember that kicker?
Okay, I don't even, whatever. So here's my question.
Yeah.
The pivotal question. This is the question for Thursday night.
Yeah.
Adam Vinatieri runs out of the tunnel. Do you cheer or do you boo?
Wildly cheer.
Okay, good.
I
At
would
least
cheer
you're
for him.
not a fucking animal.
I don't hate him. I'm not like, oh, what a bum. Like, nah, he was great. And he helped us win Super Bowls. Really helped us win Super Bowls.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them more than Tom Brady. And like, yeah, I would fucking cheer for him all day. He is to your point, a legend in New England.
Good. Okay. I'm glad we at least agree on that.
Okay.
You got to cheer the guy. Anybody that boos Adam Vinatieri is a
No,
fucking
you're
idiot.
a loser. You're a loser. He didn't do anything. He didn't burn bridges on his way out of
He
town.
just wanted to get paid.
Right. It's
Like
fine.
everyone else.
Right.
Do you
That's
want
what
to
you're
get paid
supposed to
in
do.
your job?
Yeah.
Listener?
Some
course you
job comes
fucking
and
do.
offers you more money. You're like, no, can't do it.
It just sucks for him that he happened to go to the Colts, who at the time were our chief rival in the AFC. Like
Sure.
that's the thing that screwed him. If he went to any other team, nobody would fucking boo him.
Yeah, but I don't look at it like Roger Clemens going to the Yankees. Like,
But
I
I'm
don't-
saying at the time.
sure, but even then, I didn't put it in that stratosphere.
Right, sure.
I just didn't. I don't know. Anyway, I love this story. This week, Seattle Seahawks safety Earl Thomas fractured his leg, and it was gross.
Ouch.
And as he was being carted off the field, he looked toward the Seahawks sideline
Did he ever?
and gave him the good old one finger salute,
The finger.
middle finger,
Gave him the
right up
finger.
at him all.
National TV.
Earl Thomas is basically the last remaining member of the vaunted Legion of Boom in Seattle. He was disgruntled and frustrated with the organization in the offseason and considered holding out for either a trade or a new contract. My God. But ultimately, he decided to play in 2018, and he's now obviously out for the season
Very much so.
and will have a hard time demanding the top of the market deal moving forward. Was this a total dick move by Thomas or justified based on his circumstance?
Everything about his disposition and position regarding his contract with the Seahawks is pretty much justified. I am I think, well-documented supporter of any NFL player who's like trying to get that money.
Yeah, because there's no guaranteed contract.
They just get fucking
Yeah.
raked over the coals year after year. But the finger, do you have to flip off fucking Pete T. Carroll in your own team? Like on
Yes.
the, like, come
Fuck
on.
yeah.
Like
Give it
that
to
was
him.
a dick move. All you did there was like throw your fucking like credibility out the window and
Yeah.
just for your own, like, I don't know.
You made yourself the bad guy in the story.
Thank you for putting that in a much more succinct way. Yes. You went from like oh, everybody feels bad for you. Like, what a shitty spot. Like, he came back to play for the team instead of holding out,
Right,
blah,
did the
blah,
right
blah. All these
thing.
nice team player type storylines are now gone.
Yeah.
Because you just had to fucking blip the bird on the way out the fucking
So good.
cart.
He's like in the cart, and all the Cardinals players are coming over and giving him the pat on the shoulder.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Hey man, and he's just like, meh.
It's just, and it wasn't even like emphatic. It wasn't
No.
like a fucking
It-
two freedom rockets.
it was
Like, it was
just
just
a, like,
this casual, like, fuck
Fuck
you.
Yeah, fuck you. Fuck all of
You liked it?
Of course I liked it. I like anyone giving the finger on TV. Did you see that Bell is now apparently going to come back during the Pittsburgh bye week in week 7? I would have thought this story would have been like, see? That's why
what
I'm not
happens.
playing.
Right.
Like, I thought it would have solidified his point. Now he says he's going to come back.
Yeah, I don't know.
That
Hope
was
his-
weird to
hope
me.
His leg don't break. Here's a lightning round question brought to you by a listener.
Oh, great.
Hey guys, it's Bill George from the Should I Go See It podcast. I don't know if you heard this yet, but it sounds like the NBA is going to start selling smaller parts of games for purchase, either maybe just the fourth quarter or just a 10-minute chunk that people can buy. I get it financially, but my take is the NBA should not do this. All it does is placate these fake fans. These are the same assholes who say you only need to watch the last 2 minutes of a game,
Yeah, like us.
which is intrinsically true of
Exactly.
all sports, by the way.
They're hitting their target
But if you want
audience.
to watch a basketball game, watch a basketball game. Not a fraction of a basketball game, not a percentage of a basketball game. Just watch a basketball game. And the NBA should stand on principle and say, look, if you can't handle us at 8 minutes into the second quarter, then you don't deserve us with 2 minutes left in the fourth.
All right.
All right, wrap it up.
He
He
recorded that entire question just to say that last sentence.
So what's your take on, well, okay, can I have a question? That was, you might notice that either our call-in line at 904-87-TT-POD, the voice quality either got a lot better or this particular caller is a total fucking psychopath who decided to record himself on his phone and send in a pre-recorded message via text.
Yeah.
Like
Cheated
a
the
fucking
system.
weirdo.
That's not how it works.
Not in the spirit of the call-in line there,
Don't do
William.
that.
So anyways,
You got played only because we wanted to tell you were wrong.
to address this sanctimonious basketball fan question, what's your take on the whole like sell? And by selling, we don't mean tickets here. It's on an app.
Yeah.
You can like buy the fourth quarter of like, you know,
Yeah. Great.
fucking Golden State Houston for $2.
Yeah. I'm into that.
Yes.
If I'm on Twitter and it's like, this game's insane, like so close, all this happening, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll buy that and see what's going on. Why wouldn't I do that? I would never have watched any part of that game
Right.
without that option. So yeah, that's a great idea for the NBA. One, because yeah, it drives profits, but two, it drives interest in teams that people might not normally watch and like get to see, I don't know, someone else play that you wouldn't normally. Like,
Right.
oh, I'm sitting I was going to say in traffic. You should not do that in traffic. You're on a
Well,
train. Like, you're on a train, right? And you're like, oh, I got 20 minutes before I get home. Oh, I'll watch the last quarter of this game.
I can either buy a fucking Gatorade from the vending machine or I can watch, whatever, Sixers Toronto the last 2 minutes. And to his point about it being the final couple minutes is the most important part of the game, that being intrinsically true in any sport, is not true. Basketball, more than any other sport, the first 3 quarters is just kind of a back and forth feeling out process. Teams regularly come back from very large deficits to make it a close game in the fourth quarter across the NBA. Like, I would never tell anybody if you wanted to get a sense of how a baseball game was going, just watch the 8th and 9th inning.
Right. That's not
true at all.
how scoring
The game
happens.
is often decided in the early innings, and you want to be there and see how it goes and see how this started. Like, it makes a difference.
Same thing with football. You couldn't have just watched the fourth quarter of that Patriots game and known what a blowout it was.
Yeah, it's leads are regularly evaporated and erased in the third and fourth quarters of basketball games, making the final minutes where they're just within 3, 4, 5 points of each other the part of the game that sort of counts. If the first 3 quarters of the game are just going to result in what is effectively a tie in the final quarter on a pretty regular basis in your sport, then people are going to start figuring out that like it's like Quidditch. Who cares about what those other ancillary positions are doing? Just watch the guy who's going to find the fucking
golden
little
snitch.
golden thing, because that's really what matters in the game.
Yeah, 100 points. Instant win.
Fucking lock it up. So anyways, final question of the week. I lost track of the order because we got the call.
Patriots and Colts are playing on Thursday night, as we've said. Tonight, really, for those of you listening to the podcast.
Yeah, it's pretty much tonight.
The once fabled Pats-Colts rivalry has had its second act stunted, mostly by the Colts sucking and Andrew Luck being hurt all the goddamn time. Do you miss Pats-Colts? And what are your predictions for Thursday night?
I don't really miss Pat's Colts. I do miss Brady Manning. I don't really care what the uniforms are.
Sure.
And the Colts are not a historical rival of the Patriots. That was just
they're a historically very bizarre. They have a very bizarre history.
Yeah. It's not, Pat's Jets, sure, like whatever, division shit, but like whatever. It's not. The Patriots just suck for so long that they don't have any natural rivals from the old days because they were just a punching bag for the vast majority of their existence.
That's true.
So I don't really miss Pat's Colts. I do miss Brady and his counterpart.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't really have right now in the AFC.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, because that's the problem. It feels like the person that would be that is Aaron Rodgers,
who's in the other conference.
NFC.
Yeah, exactly.
So you never play him.
Roethlisberger, I guess, but the Patriots just so consistently beat the Steelers that he's not
They're
really.
so in Roethlisberger's
the
head.
thing with Manning and Brady was that they, at least in the playoffs, would be back and forth. Like it was.
They were both great.
So I do miss that. My predictions for Thursday: I think the Pats are going to win. I hope they win handily, and I hope that the defense looks good because Andrew Luck is a good quarterback. He can play the position, and I just hope they don't turn him into fucking Aaron Rodgers, just like they've turned everybody else into Aaron Rodgers.
Turn him into Nick Foles. I'm going to stick with that joke. I also think the Patriots are going to win. I hope they're going to. Like I said before, who do you trust more on a short week? It's got to be Brady.
And the Colts are bad.
Right. Their record looks like the team that they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Cool week.
Let's bag out of here.
All right. See you next week for fucking Red Sox playoffs.
Yeah, hopefully they're still in it.
If
by the
they're
time
not
we're together.
still in it by the next time we record,
God.
I'm going to jump off my fucking roof.
Light a fire because I'm just burning this place down.
If they lose 3 games in a row to fucking anybody,
yeah,
I'm going to lie down on the Mass Pike.
Craig, where can the people call us?
Oh, great question. Yeah. On the telephone, 904-87-TT-POD, like Title Town Podcast.
Someday I'm
904-87-TT-POD. Give us a call, voicemail, leave us your take.
Yeah, we'll
try
answer.
We'll try to ask for some fodder next week.
Yeah. You can talk to us about the Pats-Colts game. You can talk to us about the Red Sox playoffs. You can talk to us about the Bruins season opener. Whatever gets your juices flowing.
Whatever rocks your boat.
All right. Cool.
Later.
Bye.